views. But just in case, one of his fans just so happens to make it to this episode, yeah, if you're going to be offended or triggered or bitter or, any of the things that you like to call black women regarding Kevin Samuels content, yeah, if you're going to be any of those things, then you might as well exit stage left right now, because I'm not, even though he's dead, right? I'm not trying to diss the dead. Like I said, he can't defend himself. But at the same time, I'm not going to censor myself. I'm probably not going to speak about him in the highest light or the most positive manner. Like, there may be some disdain in my face because, I wear my emotions on my face. Because this ain't no lie. I don't have no reason to hold back how I feel about anything. Like I said, this podcast is my opinion, how I feel. And since I am the host, the creator, the editor, the promoter, the the stylist, the makeup artist, and whatever else, researcher. Since I'm all those things, I am going to give my opinion raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what else to call it, but you about to bend over and get this raw. And if you don't want it, then like I said, you can click exit. But for the people who want to hear it, like, hey, what's up, free spirits? Welcome to tonight's episode of SpiritualiTEA. I'm your host, Bella. And tonight, I mean, if you don't already know what the topic is, you know, because it's in the title. But if it wasn't in the title, you would know. Like, both of these topics have been all over the internet this past weekend. This past Mother's Day weekend. Shout out to all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day. Shout out to you also if you are having trouble with Mother's Day because you lost your mom. I lost my mom too. So rest in peace, Mom, and happy Mother's Day in heaven. Rosalind Marie Perry. Shout out to her. Rest in peace to her. And shout out to all my free spirits who have some free spirits up in heaven who they call Mom this weekend. And also, just happy Mother's Day in general. And even if you have a fur baby like me, because that's the only baby I got. Happy Mother's Day to you too. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in to tonight's episode. As I was saying before I got off on a tangent on Mother's Day, you should know what I'm talking about. So what happened over the weekend was the passing of fellow YouTuber Kevin Samuels, relationship advisor. I'm not trying to as a matter of fact, I was trying to be respectful of the dead, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really tacky to disrespect the dead. They're not here to defend themselves, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to go hard on him because he's not here to defend himself. And I personally would not accept an invite to his show in any way, shape, or form if he wanted to have me on his show to, tell me about myself or what have you. And I wouldn't have engaged in any of that. So I'm not going to pretend like I would by going in on homeboy right now, you know what I'm saying, to let him do the same in return. So I'm not going to go in on him. However, my opinion of him will shine through, Obviously, this is my podcast. I'm the host. I'm going to share my opinion on how I feel about the situation, right? And personally, as a black woman, how I feel about him is not as pleasant as someone may like it to be. I'm not going to say you, because if you're watching my channel, odds are you're not a fan of Kevin Samuels. But just in case, one of his fans just so happens to make it to this episode, yeah, if you're going to be offended or triggered or bitter or, any of the things that you like to call black women regarding Kevin Samuels content, yeah, if you're going to be any of those things, then you might as well exit stage left right now, because I'm not, even though he's dead, right? I'm not trying to diss the dead. Like I said, he can't defend himself. But at the same time, I'm not going to censor myself. I'm probably not going to speak about him in the highest light or the most positive manner. Like, there may be some disdain in my face because, I wear my emotions on my face. Because this ain't no lie. I don't have no reason to hold back how I feel about anything. Like I said, this podcast is my opinion, how I feel. And since I am the host, the creator, the editor, the promoter, the the stylist, the makeup artist, and whatever else, researcher. Since I'm all those things, I am going to give my opinion raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what else to call it, but you about to bend over and get this raw. And if you don't want it, then like I said, you can click exit. But for the people who want to hear it, like, you've seen your whole Facebook, Twitter, like Twitter, whatever the hell, timeline, everything discussing the passing of this man. However, there were not just condolences, right? What I what I've seen most, what I've seen most is men not just offering their condolences to their fallen father. I don't know what to call him. They were bashing black women in their condolences to this man. It's like, this is why you're a fan. Like, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Like, he's trained you well, so you shouldn't even be sad that he's gone, because you are carrying on his life's work to antagonize black women, to point the finger at black women, and to, it's insane. It was never a just rest in peace. You taught me so much, or I've learned so much from watching you. It was none of that. It was always, oh my God, where do I start? Where do I start? Because I'm like, they're inciting anger in black women when they are wishing this man condolences. This shows you exactly who they are and exactly what their game is, but they don't see it themselves. Oh, y'all so bitter. Y'all are laughing at this man passing, but y'all just proving him right. But rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Ironically, while looking for a meme to give advice on Facebook, I found another meme on, double ironically, psychopathfree.com, this, explaining the serial provoker. Serial provokers, serial provokers are experts at seeking out flexible, easygoing people. They exploit this quality by constantly provoking their targets with covert jabs, meaning underhanded comments, minimization, veiled humor, which means shade, honey, and patronization. The target will attempt to avoid conflict by remaining pleasant, choosing to forgive and excuse this behavior in favor of maintaining harmony. But the serial provoker will continue to aggravate the target until they finally snap. Once this occurs, the provoker will sit back, feign surprise, and marvel at how passive aggressive, angry, and volatile the target is. The target will immediately feel bad, apologize, and absorb the blame. They are essentially shamed for rightfully losing patience and behaving the way the serial provoker behaves every single day. The difference is the difference is the target feels remorse. The serial provoker does not. The target is expected to remain calm and peaceful no matter what, while the serial provoker feels entitled to do whatever they please. If that aren't these psychopaths that I've seen these last few days, I had such trouble explaining it because I didn't know what it was psychologically, but now I know. These men are psychopaths. And they don't even realize it. They are provoking and agitating black women to get a response out of them so that they can then point the finger and call them what it is that they are trying to paint them as. You want me to be seen as angry and bitter and volatile, so you agitate me and you provoke me into becoming such just so you could point at me when I do and say, "Look, she's volatile, she's bitter, she's, all the things that you accuse me of being when you provoked and created the environment for me to be exactly that. And you are exactly that without any provocation. Yo, leave these psychopaths alone. I can't even believe how many psychopaths I have as friends on Facebook. Like, why can't you just rest in peace to this man? Why do you have to poke at black women before you offer your condolences? If that was the purpose of the post, right? Why wouldn't that just be what you say? Why wouldn't you start out with that? You start out with a dig against the very women that you want to mourn this man when he's done the same exact thing to black women. He's disrespected us and disregarded us. Pretty much labeling most of black women a 5 as disregarding them. It's like, who's paying attention to a 5? So you disrespected and you disregarded black women, but now all of a sudden, because you're dead, we're supposed to respect you and hold you in high regards because that's what you do for the dead. What? Where? And black women ain't having it no more. Like, y'all already just seen that. What happened with homeboy from Africa who has so much to say about black women in his life and how he wanted white women and he got one and that same white woman took him out of this life. All of a sudden, black women were supposed to mourn that life and fight for justice for that life when that very life didn't give a fuck that it gave them life. Because the black woman gave birth to that nigga. Yeah, I'm going to call him a nigga. Because that's what he was. He was trying to run from it. He was trying to hide from it. But you are a nigga. Ignorant as fuck about who you truly are. Or you wouldn't have been running to another. But anyways, brother, they learned that day because he wanted to rally the same women that his brother disrespected to elicit pitchforks to get justice for the same person that threw us away and didn't give a fuck about us as a people, as a species, as their counterpart. Because if you want to be real, then let's be real. If everybody makes the fuck up, then we wouldn't have differences. And that's boring. Like, let's just take all the colors in the world and blend them all together and have one color for the rest of our fucking lives and let's see how much fun that'll be. That's essentially what y'all want to do. We are all one, so let's just all be one race. No. But anyway, that's not what this episode was about. This episode was about people expecting a certain response from black women and they're not getting it and they're like foaming at the mouth. Like, y'all are literally going off and trying to do the same exact thing he was trying to do before he died. Bitterly. Tragically. Alone. And y'all can say he wasn't alone. He was with some woman that he had met the day before. Like, that was alone. That woman don't know you. If you had a choice to call one last person, it wouldn't have been her. So, she don't count. You were alone. But anyways, y'all are so convinced about black women being alone because we're combative and we're bitter. But then y'all try to do things to make us bitter, right? Y'all do things to poke at us and to antagonize us and to make us angry and upset. Just so y'all can point the finger at us and tell us that we're angry and upset and we're bitter and that this is why y'all don't fuck with us. Y'all already don't fuck with us. That's the tea. Y'all don't. And y'all are looking for us to give you a reason to confirm your delusions of why you don't fuck with us. This is what you're doing. You don't see it, but I see it. Even though Kevin Samuels' content wasn't respectful in life, that does not give us a license to be disrespectful in his death, only because then it makes us no better than him, or at least it makes us appear that way. And that is what these incel Kevin Samuel fans or black men in general are holding on to, is the fact that we are being uncouth in regards to this man's death. And I just want us to, and you know, essentially, they're going to find any kind of reason to blame us, throw us under the bus, antagonize us, you know, to try to make us feel some type of way. But at the very least, we could not give them the fact that we are high-fiving and cheersing to the fact that this man lost his life simply because he has a family. I don't know. He hasn't spoken about them. Ain't like he has kids. Does he have kids? I don't know if he has any kids, honey. But it's just being insensitive to the people that are still here. That is my biggest concern with us, you know, having camaraderie about this man's passing. Even though the divine explicitly confirmed with some of us that this was direct retribution for his attack on feminine energy. Because a lot of you don't understand that it is supreme. And it will reign supreme. Like Mother Nature has her moments where she gets upset and she has a tornado or a tsunami or a hurricane and or earthquake, and she just wipes a whole lot of us the fuck out because she's tired of our shit. As she should be. As she should be. And this man has made a platform bashing feminine energy instead of uplifting it. And there's a lot of people who do that. So I bet you're wondering like what's going to happen to them or why hasn't death happened to them. But it's just like, I'm not wishing death on anybody. But every dog has its day. Like, you can't use that as an excuse to be an asshole, a dickhead, or whatever it is that you want to call it. You can't use that as an excuse to prolong you growing into the man that you should be. Simply because there are other men out there like you. Simply because there was an older man telling you that it was okay to be that way. Well, you know that it's not. You know that it's not. Because if it was okay, then you wouldn't have black women in an uproar about it. Or women, period. And his rating system, like, I have a rating system myself. It is not lenient at all. It's just not as misogynistic as Kevin Samuels' rating system is. And it's not more in favor of women, period. It takes into account all of the factors that somebody would consider when getting into a relationship with a person. You're going to consider their looks. You're going to consider their status, how much money they have, what job do they work, or what have you. And you're going to consider their personality. Those are the three major factors, period. And when you are a man, looks is going to matter more than personality and money most of the time. And when you're a woman, stability is going to matter more most of the time. But whatever, that's not what we're here to talk about. We was talking about Kevin Samuels. I just can't get over the fact that instead of people, offering their condolences, they want to bash black women. They want to use this as a time, as an opportunity to do the very thing that he was taken out of this world for doing. If you are spiritual and you believe that karmic retribution is a thing, honey, let me know in the comment section, because that's what we're here for. SpiritualiTEA. That's what we're here for. So if you don't believe that, then I don't know what you're doing here. I mean, maybe the name attracted you, but you're going to have to face some facts, some cold, hard facts, eventually. But, I'm not here to convince you. I'm just here to give the tea as it was given to me via social media or wherever my other sources may be. Okay? It was mostly them trying to, guilt trip black women into mourning this man, or even just guilt tripping black women into mourning this man. And then it's hey, you are bitter, or why would you be laughing at him dying? Hey, you little ass kids. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when women have boys, they have male children, right? And then they get to a certain age where they're not quite a man, but they're not a boy, they're a young man, but they can't support themselves and they don't know shit because they still have shit stains in their drawers, but that's neither here nor there. These kids, these young men, they want you to give them free reign to live their life, to make their mistakes and to have their experiences the way that they want to have them because it's their life. But they also want you to be there for them, to pick them up and nurse their wounds and to give them money if they end up fucking dead broke after they blow everything up in their fucking faces. They want you to still be there, no questions asked, to help them, but they don't want your opinion otherwise. They don't want your support otherwise. I got this. I know what's best for me. You're 15 years old. This is what these men act like, and a lot of them are stunted at 15 years old. That's the sad fact. The age that you are either the most glorified or the most traumatized is the age that you stick with throughout your entire life. So if you know somebody and they still act like a teenager, that was their glory days. Either that or something traumatic happened to them where they just wasn't able to grow past it mentally. Their body has aged, but their mind has not. That is a lot of you men out here, or at least it appears that way, because you need divine feminine energy. Just as divine feminine energy needs divine masculine energy. However, if you want to talk about if one had to survive without the other, which one will survive longer? Which one would you think it would be? Which one did it start with, first of all? There was no single man that populated this entire earth. It was a woman. And Gaia is what? A woman. Y'all will get enough of disrespecting feminine energy and think you're going to go on with your married life and benefit from it. He was benefiting from his disrespect. Now y'all want him to benefit in death from us pouring our energy into feeling bad for him. Feeling bad is a sense giving our energy over to him. Because we feel lesser because he's no longer on this earth and we're pouring our energy into his memory to uplift it. Fuck you mean. Fuck would I do that for? Why would I do that? You can do that all you want to because you felt like you had, a YouTube daddy. Like a lot of y'all don't have a father at home and y'all need some grown man to put y'all up on game, even if it's the wrong game. Even if it perpetuates your fuck shit because it makes you feel better about not having to grow into a real man. So you glad that you found somebody who's supposedly successful, who mirrors your toxicity because it's like, oh, I can still be successful in spite of my toxicity. So that's why y'all idolize this man. Not because what he's saying is intelligent or is beneficial to mankind or womankind. Because it absolves you from having any accountability to do better or be better for women. The very women that you want to give birth to, your children. The very women that you want to take care of you in your old age. The very women that you want to bust a nut on. In. Around. To. Watching. Near. Whatever the fuck. You want her to feel like she's subservient to you, like you don't need her, she needs you. No, bitch, we need each other. But anyways, divine feminine energy, the energy that gives, is tired of takers only taking and not replenishing. That energy is taking back now. Don't get got. Put some respect on her name. Put some respect on divine feminine's name, honey. Because you only one freaking hurricane, one freaking collapsed building, one fallen tree on a car away from meeting your maker. And when you found out it's a black woman, oh Lord. The hilarity that will ensue. But y'all don't like laughter. Y'all don't like indifference. Y'all want anger. Y'all want bitterness. Black women, stop letting these men who aren't fucking you, feeding you, or financing you upset you. If you don't respect their opinion of anything, then why are you allowing them to upset you with their opinion? If the shoe don't fit, why are you putting it on? Ooh, hold on. I just realized something. When I turned this back on, I did not. Oh. I think that's right. Whatever. This is the thing. You want to feel like we need you more than you need us. Or that if it's not balanced, which it technically is, not really, but whatever. Okay. One needs the other. So without the other, the other would be less strong. You get what I'm saying? Like, so technically we do need each other. But like I said, the feminine energy will survive longer on its own than the masculine energy would. Period. So put some respect on our name. See, I'm getting a little excited myself. Black women do not engage. Okay? Black women, do not engage in the fuckery. Because they want to blame you for their anger and disdain for black women. They want you to give them a reason to have the opinion that they have of you. Just like Kevin Samuels. They poke you and antagonize you to get a reaction out of you just to call you whatever it is that you're reacting to. Stop reacting. I bet you it drives them more crazy than you arguing with them back and forth on Facebook. Let's be real. Like, stop arguing with men on Facebook, period. Because men who get money aren't on Facebook. Unless they're there to flex and then, like, go about their business. They're not going to sit there and argue with women about anything. About mourning the death of some man that's not them or their father. I mean, you can't, like, be on me about mourning your death. But they're not, like, you guys are acting like it's your father who died. Like, put some respect on my daddy's name. And even though he disrespected you in life, respect him in death. For some reason, that is a requirement only held for black women. That we have respect for the dead even when that person in life was disrespectful as fuck. And black women are not having it. And y'all are trying to beat us into submission. So remove your energy, black women. Do not engage. Do not go tit for tat with these men on Facebook. Do not explain to them why you feel the way you feel because they don't care. They just want to be able to point at you and say, hey, you mad? He must have been right, hey. So they can feel better about the shit that they say about black women and the way that they feel about black women. Remove your energy completely. You can have whatever imagery, you can have whatever you want. I'm going to go over here and paint my reality. You know what I'm saying? And in my reality, I don't deal with motherfuckers who quote Kevin Samuels as gospel and who are so affected by his death that they are on Facebook ranting to women who don't give a fuck. But that might just be me. But anyways, as I was saying about this attack on the divine feminine, she ain't having none of that, as evident by also Marilyn Monroe's team humbled the fuck out of Kim Kardashian by saying, like, bitch, you could never. Like, they told her she could not fit Miss Marilyn Monroe's dress and that she was wearing a replica, so stop telling her fans and the rest of the world that she went on a diet for 3 weeks to lose 16 pounds to fit into Miss Monroe's dress. They said that that was a lie. The lie detector test determined that that was a lie because they said, oh, you could never. But Miss Thing was also, like, she's very obsessed with this divine feminine energy because she knows the power that it holds. And her and the rest of her coven family harvest enough of it. Like, they're a family of mostly feminines for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, feminine energy is just trumps masculine. And if you want to act like you don't know, then you're going to learn eventually. Like, maybe God... I don't wish lack or loss on anybody. But if it requires God removing this energy from you completely for you to see, then that's what's going to happen. And it's not nothing to do with what I said because, you know, I'm a God, but I'm not the God. So I can't determine what happens in your life. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just letting you know that I do have a connection as a God to the God, and that God lets me know that y'all on some bullshit. And y'all gonna find out the hard way. Because some people like to learn from others and some people like to learn the hard way. And apparently y'all like to learn the hard way. So like I just said, that's what's gonna happen. And that's what's been happening. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, Miss Kim Kardashian, Lord have mercy. It's been said that her and her family have been a coven for years. This is not new. Like, we're not new to this, we're true to this. And she rolled her ass out of the broom closet this weekend when Ripley's, believe it or not, gifted her what allegedly a locket of Marilyn Monroe's hair, which is disgusting. It's like they have profited so much off this woman's imagery and physicality 60 years after her death. Plus, that is disgusting. And you don't understand why they're trying to replicate that? Do you understand how many people have a Marilyn Monroe picture hanging up in their house and they don't know nothing about this woman besides her name and how she looks? They don't know shit about her or really much besides that, but they want to be her. They idolize her. They look up to her. They don't know her, but they still spend money on her likeness and her memorabilia and her paraphernalia. Why wouldn't Hollywood or Kim Kardashian as an entity herself, who sells products, who sells celebrity, who sells her image, why wouldn't she want to emulate that? Marilyn sells herself. She's not even here. She don't do no promo. What Instagram, bitch? Like, she ain't got to do none of that. And how long was she famous? Let's just start there. Like, how many years was she famous relative to how many years Hollywood has tried to recreate her. Hollywood has tried to recreate her, and the rest of the world has tried to be her. Anyways, if you don't understand the power of divine feminine energy, you would give it away without expecting anything in return. And while we should be selfless, that's how you get taken for all that you have without receiving. Stop giving people free trials because they know your worth. They know they want the service. But they're going to try to loophole your ass and get your services for free as long as they could without having to give you shit. Because it's like, oh yeah, you worth it, but I deserve to have what I want without having to give anything in return. That's how some people think. Some people are that entitled. But I don't know how we ended up there when we were talking about Miss Marilyn Monroe. Like, I do not think that, like, she said in life that she didn't want her image be sold. Especially not as heavily as it is today. But yet, here we go. I was just watching a YouTube today, and a girl had a picture of Marilyn Monroe posted behind her. That's not uncommon at all. But FYI, if you are a little black girl and you want somebody to idolize, then you can look up Miss Dorothy Dandridge, Lena Horne. You can look up Diane Carroll. I'm pretty sure I'm leaving a lot of people out. Cicely Tyson. There's a lot of black women, Naomi Campbell, that if you want somebody pretty and black to hang up on your wall, to idolize and to want to mimic, then you could look, you can research them. And I also recommend, like, we're not perfect, you get what I'm saying, but also pay attention to what it is that you're idolizing. Like, people who covet, who desire, who need and want Marilyn's energy, they only want her physically. They didn't care about her spirit. They didn't care about what she thought. They didn't care about, they just wanted to have her, her image, what she looked like, how beautiful she was. And as a soul, that becomes very demeaning. It's eventually like, I know I look bomb as fuck, but I'm also really smart. I also cook really well. I also do this really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know I look good, but I'm also a really good writer. Whatever the fuck. And some people only, like, if you encounter people like Kim Kardashian who only want to sell you an image, like, you have to pay attention to what is behind that image and whether you want to emulate that energy as well or not. Because up until now, Miss Kardashian was idolizing Elizabeth Taylor, who was married, like, I don't know how many times, like, was it 5, 6 times? And tragically, unfortunately, her favorite husband is the one that she had the least time with, and she only married after him for companionship. And Kim Kardashian doesn't like the fact that she's been married so many times, but she's following in the footsteps of somebody that she idolized. Because she wasn't paying attention to the fact that Elizabeth Taylor was, like, objectified so damn much. And that it was hard to find people who genuinely loved her. And that's what Kim Kardashian wants. That's what any person, human being, not just woman, any human being wants, is somebody to love them for them. she just puts up this image and she's idolizing these women who did not have people who loved them for them. They had people who loved them for how they looked, for the expensive garments that they wore and the diamonds, you know? Yeah, I was talking about Dressgate. Where Kim allegedly, she posted that she wore Miss Marilyn Monroe's iconic nude bedazzled dress to this year's Met Gala, but the auction house or the museum that's holding the dress told Kim that she lies like a rug. I don't know if that was some kind of like Armenian dig, but it seemed like one to me. But I'm extra and I read energy like that, so that's where my mind went with it. But they told Miss Kim that she lied like a rug and that dress was a replica because she could never fit Miss Monroe's dress, even though she alleged that it took her 3 weeks to lose 16 pounds to get into it. But anyways, the entire world has been alleged that the KKKs have been a coven for years, and Courtney went and they all gone and proved it, but Courtney announced to the world for no reason other than attention seeking, which is what they're great at, the other day, telling the world that her and new bae Travis Barker drink each other's blood as some sort of like binding for spiritual reasons, and it's just like as if we didn't know y'all was desperate before. Like, anyways, who told y'all to do that? Who told y'all to do that? Fucking weirdos. And how much blood are you ingesting? Like, I feel like they sit there and feast on each other, but like that's not my business though. And I don't know for sure. I haven't seen that anywhere, but in my mind, I just feel like, ooh, shit. That was a severe download. I ain't never get one like that in my life. That means shut the fuck up. Alright, so moving on. Whoa. Okay, so we talked about Dressgate. Yeah. Oh, okay, so Kim's reaction when she received the locket of what's supposedly Marilyn Monroe's hair, she's like, oh, I'm gonna do some creepy voodoo shit with this. I'm gonna channel her. I'm gonna sleep with this. Like she knows what the power of hair, and if you're not into spirituality, then you might not know, but ask your grandmama. You know what I'm saying? Like, wigs get made fun of, but they are a blessing when you think about the damage that could be done with a strand of hair. Because people is out here crazy and desperate, apparently. So, if you don't know, you might want to look it up. But yeah, Kim K definitely plans on channeling. And if she was wearing the real dress, then she could have used that to channel Miss Marilyn as she should have. She should have had the same moment at the Met Gala that Marilyn Monroe had at the Oscars or the Academy Awards. I think it's the same thing, but whatever. Wherever she was at, I don't even know what it was. But wherever she wore that dress to, the reaction that she elicited, especially all this time later, like the dress is in a museum, right? And people are trying to wear it decades later to have the same type of moment, to kind of recreate, to manifest, to siphon the same type of response from the rest of the world by wearing it. But it wasn't the real thing. That's why she needed the hair. That's supposedly real. I hope that it's not. But if it is, I don't think that Miss Marilyn is going to bless Miss Kim with any of her energy because she's a fraud. And it's like, you're not about to be fraudulent off of my energy. It's too divine. And I don't know. I'm not Marilyn, so I can't say how that's going to go or not. But we shall see. Time shall tell, as it always does. What I wanted to really get into about that and how I feel desperate Kim has been this entire weekend to liken herself or to channel Miss Marilyn Monroe. It just shows you the power of divine feminine energy and how it gives you the ability to receive validation, to receive adoration, to receive gifts, to receive roles. Do you understand, even after her death, how many screenplays or how many like movies or TV shows have played on that scene where Marilyn stood over the manhole and her dress blows up and she's like, all ladylike and feminine and she's holding it down and flirty or whatever. Like, is it called Uptown Girls with Brittany Murphy? Rest in peace. 27 Club. Let me know if you know about the 27 Club down in the comment section. But yeah, so I lost my train of thought when I was thinking about Brittany Murphy. Oh yeah. So Uptown Girls, the movie with Brittany Murphy and Dakota Fanning. I think right in the first 10 minutes, she does a scene where she emulates Marilyn, and she's just so like flirty and fun. It's in New York City. It's the same like thing, but you get that scene in a lot of different movies because it's iconic. Marilyn's energy is iconic. It brings in attention. It brings in validation. It brings in money. It brings in resources. And that's what Kim Kardashian wants to do. Like, she's the OG gold digger. Like, her husband made a song about her before he even knew he made a song about her. And that's classic. If you act, like, that's magic. Like, how your husband write a song about you before he even knows you exist? Or, like, before he even marries you? I ain't saying she a gold digger. Anyways. You guys. Put some respect on her name. Divine Feminine Energy is the source. It's the gift that keeps on giving. You guys downplay it because you don't understand how important it is. It's like you wake up every day and you breathe. So you take the air for granted. But let me suffocate your ass. And see how important air is. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, let me clean that up a little bit. Divine Feminine Energy is essentially water, right? And you see how much water is taken for granted in this day and age, even considering the fact that the world is made up of like 75% water, 72 to 75% water, and the human body is made up of almost the same percentage of water, right? So your body is made up mostly of water. But you disregard water. You take it for granted. It's there. So you don't feel a need for it. But if you watch nature shows and you see these people go out to the jungle, the first thing that they want to do is find a water source. Then they worry about a shelter. The first thing they do is look for water because they know that within the least amount of time, you're dead without it. You can go longer without a house than you can without water. You can go longer without warmth than you can without water. Can you? I might be lying on that. Regardless of the fact, a lot of people take water, aka feminine energy, for granted. You get sick when you don't have water for a long enough time. Your body dries out. Your organs start to shut down. You get dis-ease. Your body becomes uneasy. You have dis-ease within your body because it lacks balance. It doesn't have enough water. Because you take the water for granted, so you don't drink it. You eating all this sugary shit. You're drinking all this sugary stuff, and you're not getting the replenishment that you need. And what the thing about it is, you think that you're going to spike feminine energy by not ingesting it, by not acknowledging it. You think you are going to spike feminine energy by not partaking in it, by not valuing it. But you need it. You're going to die without it. You try to recreate it. You try to find it somewhere else. You replenish yourself with synthetic water because you've cut off source. So now everything else you get is a replica. It's a fake. It's a wannabe. It's a carbon copy. It's not greater than the original. So you're getting a little bit of sustainment from it, but not like a little bit of replenishment from it, but not enough to sustain you. That's when you want to come back to source energy. That's when you want to give respect. And by then it's too late. You're going to drown. And that sounds weird because I didn't even mean to say drown. There is such a thing as too much water. Yeah, so there's a difference between like source water, tap water, and synthetic water. Okay? All three of them replenish you in different types of ways. When y'all are tired of dealing with tap and synthetic water, then y'all gonna be begging for source water, and you better hope that source wants to give you a drop. Like all that to say that, because my camera keeps cutting off, and I don't know what the fuck she's doing because she got space. Um. Anyways, I think that was it for this episode. So she just let me know to wrap it the fuck up. Adios, free spirits. That's it for tonight's episode. Let me know what you think about it down in the comment section. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe on your way out and that notification bell so you can be put on game when I post another video, another fun topic for you guys. And if you got anything out of this, of course, make sure you let me know down in the comment section and share it with your family and friends so they can gather something too. Okay, and I'll see you on the next one.